Hi, I'm Rod, your real estate guru, and our topic for today is land. Do you have land for sale that does not have a home on it? Maybe it has some barn on it or a structure on it of some sort, but it essentially doesn't have a home on it. So, what you have for sale is land. And land is getting more and more popular as people are looking for places to buy with a shortage of inventory. So, I have 4 tips for you today on selling land. There's a lot to say about land, way more than 4 tips for sure. But let me give you 4 of the best tips for selling your land. And I'll jump right into it here. What about act number 1? Access to your land. How do people find it? How do they access it? Is there a current easement on the property? This is probably something I'm contacted with several times a week about land. How do I find it? Ron, I went to look at that piece of land that's listed. How do I find the land? That seems like an odd question if you've never looked for land before. But let me tell you about how the addressing system works for land that's never had a home on it, or a home, it's been through the addressing system of the county. It will have an address of 0, a big 0. Now, the 0 will be in the form of 0 Main Street or 0 Old Country Road. Whatever the road is, it will have an address of 0. There might be lots of land for sale on that road, street, whatever it is, but they'll all have an address of 0. And how you find them, of course, is using a lot number. So you need even more. But that's not how that's not how land is typically advertised. It's advertised and they put up the address and it's 0. And hopefully you can find the sign that's up for it to actually identify that particular piece of property. So number 1 is access. Tell people how to find your land. Give them a cross-reference to a map. Drop a pin onto a digital map so they know how to actually find it. Also in access, do you have access to the main road? Or is there an easement? Is this a flag lot? Now, a flag lot are those lots that sit behind another lot, and they've been given access, usually through the process of an easement, could be a license, but usually through the process of an easement to access the flag lot that sits back behind. So whatever it is, you need to show what the access is. One more thing on access, I get questions quite regularly on, is it legally possible for a piece of land to be landlocked? That is, there is no easement to it. And the answer is absolutely yes. People can landlock themselves. They can sell off pieces around them and continue to keep the middle piece. And there's simply no access to it. That wouldn't be the smartest thing, I would think, but it certainly happens. And maybe it happened before the current owner. And then you have to go around to the neighbors to see if somebody will simply give you or sell you an easement. I was asked the other day, can an easement be sold? Well, certainly. You can go to a neighbor and say, I'll give you X amount of dollars to grant me an easement to my property that is landlocked. Or if it's not landlocked, maybe it's just an easier way to access the property. So number 1, access. Tell people how to find your property. If they can't find it, they are unlikely to actually buy the property. Number 2, how large is your property? We still use the process of acreage and percentages or decimal points of acreage. A typical lot in a suburban area might be a 0.12 of an acre or a 0.15. We even have 0.09 and less, of course. A 0.2 of an acre, of course, would be a fifth of an acre. A 0.25 would be a quarter acre. A 0.5 would be a half acre, so on and so forth. People always want to know how large the piece of land is, whether it's multiple acres or fractions of an acre. They always want to know how much land they're buying. So remember, an acre of land is 43,560 square feet. Of course, you can do the math on it, and I have other videos where we go through and break this down. But 43,560 square feet is 1 acre. Just think about that for a second, how large our stores have gotten. We have we have grocery stores now that are, a couple 100,000 square feet. So you have multiple acres under roof for a grocery store, or a shopping center would have many acres under roof. Okay, we're moving on to number 3, a big item that everybody's going to ask about if they want to buy your piece of property, and that's utilities. Are there utilities on the property? Are they accessible? Utilities include power, water of whatever source, sewage along with that. So any utilities, and of course nowadays, is there fiber optic or any kind of cable service that accesses that area? Or do they have to use something like a satellite dish, or is there just nothing that can even serve that area? People want to know about utilities, the basic utilities that will access an area. Putting in power is very expensive. If utilities are all in the road and the property borders that road, you need to say utilities are in the road in front of the property. That is, of course, not as good as having utilities on the property. They've been brought in. I say not as good. It's not as good for most people. It certainly, if they have not been brought in yet, gives you more leniency as to where you're going to put those utilities and how you're going to put them on your property, whether it's over or under, or where that's going to be. Power can be a very expensive thing to bring to a property, depending on whether you have to put up a transformer on a power pole to bring something in. So it's very dependent upon that. It can be quite expensive. If you want to know more about this, please contact me. Put a comment. I get back to all comments. And by the way, smash the like button. I would love it if you'd like my videos, and visit my channel and subscribe to the channel, where we give out the secrets to real estate every day. This is what we do. We give out the secrets to real estate so you don't leave a dollar on the table. Okay, so utilities, a big deal. Let's talk about water as a utility real quick. If there's a well on the property, you will be asked for the well records. So have you been testing the well? If you haven't been testing it regularly, be prepared to go get it tested. Find out if there's chloroform in that well. Find out if there's other problems in that well. Get it cleared up. There are ways to have these things cleared up, and people will initially be asking this right up front to know about the water. If it's a public source, of course, you say it's a public source of water. It's either in the road or you brought it onto the property already. If it's a well, you need to state. So there are still cisterns. Cisterns are a holding tank of water. And we still see cisterns in Oregon and around the United States, where they are large holding tanks of water. And often these water sources are gained from rainwater or other sources, but they are a static place of holding large vats of water. So say what kind of water source that you actually have. Finally, number 4. What I think is probably the most difficult and overlooked issue of selling your land: the pictures. Often for land, people go out with their cell phone, snap a quick picture, and they're done. It's land. How could they do anything better? This is where you can really hold yourself out from the others when selling your land. Bring in a drone and have the drone put the parameters, overlay the borders on that drone photography, the video, or individual pictures. So you are really given a solid snapshot or video of where that property is, what the boundaries are, and what it looks like from above. Some properties are large, and it's difficult to get out and hike the whole property and really get a good feel for it in a short amount of time. So taking great pictures is critical. Probably the most overlooked area for selling land I see is bad pictures. You need to go out and take better pictures for it. So today we've talked about 4 tips for selling your land. Number 1 is access. Define how to find the property and what the parameters are for actually entering the property. Is it through an easement? What actually is going on? How large is the property? Is it, how many acres is the property or fractions of it? Is it a city lot? No problem. Just say how many square feet is that? Is it a 12,000 square foot lot? A 7,000 square foot lot? You need to say how large the property is. Utilities was our number 3. In utilities, you need to say, are they in the road? Are they on the property? Are they accessible? Where are they? And it's nice if you give a list of the utilities so people actually know, oh, it's Portland General Electric or whatever power company, what water source it is. They have an idea of what they're hooking up to. And then it's pictures. The number 1 most difficult thing and overlooked area is pictures of the land. Please take time and have great pictures. I would love it if you would like my video, subscribe to my channel. Go to my channel at yourrealestateguru.com. That's your dash, the little minus sign, your-realestateguru.com. See you there. Thanks, guys.